Hi there, anybody, somebody, nobody, whoever may never see this. Siegfried Alexander Faust to live. Come back and do some more Warhammer 40k. I felt like doing a bonus little clip, something to rant on and showcase as well. So if you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe, and all that jazz. And if you don't, I don't care. I do this for fun. So without further ado, let's get into it. I don't have these two lists on Google Drive. I might put them on there eventually, but this is my 3K Chaos Knights list with my ugly 2 Knight Lancers, 3 Knight Despoilers, and 5 Mini Knights because of the recent changes. Oh boy! oh my god, they are loving the point nerfs for the big knights. This is insanity! My god! that is so scary. I think there's a lot of cool things you could do with a lot of armies for 3K points. I don't really like playing more than 2K. I like 2K, it's my sweet spot. I stay away from 2v2s only because they take so long. And I also, since this is a bit of a rant video, oh my god, 10th edition streamlined stuff. The game, if you played at a good level for 9th, is not that much different based on your own army from 9th to 10th than it was previously. If you play, like, Horde Guard, and then you play Knights and be like, oh my god, this edition's so much faster. No, it's the army. There are, of course, differences, but the change, if there is change, which I think 10th is a bit faster, but it's such a small amount, and it's not worth all the lore, removal of lore options for the armies, and some stuff like, the leadership stuff is such a fucking joke. Morale made more sense and was a bigger threat in 9th than it is on 10th. I just don't care. They can't make me care. And this is my 1K for Necrons. It is Canoptic Court. You got 2-3 things of Scarabs. Luminor Rosaris as Warlord. Can't shoot me neener neener. 2 things of Plazzies to buff the Immortals. And 6 Heavy Destroyers, because their cost allows that. So you have a lot of anti-tank power in this 1K list. Woo! Big meme. And I want to cover some comparisons, because I've been just in a grumpy boomer rage recently, is what I'll call it, when I'm not stroking out to my brain dying, or having a stroke, I guess. That's less innuendic. How these 9th edition lists, these are probably, in my opinion, the top 3 best armies in 9th edition, at the end of 9th edition. Thousand Sons, Guard, and Iron Hands. In order, it's Guard, Iron Hands, Thousand Sons. But, yeah, these 3 lists would body their counterparts. But this is just kind of what they look like, right? So let's look at Thousand Sons. I'd actually include 3 War Dog Brigands here. And again, the profiles are much different. If you go back to even older editions, depending on the arc of where you fired at some vehicles, they had side armor. So, toughness changed. So, the editions do matter. Because Melta and Laz have basically swapped places. Melta was king in 9th. Sister was so strong. Sisters were mad good in 9th. But yeah, this just has so much damage output from the Warp Fire Flamers. Way more mortals. Way more mortals. The ability to deny deep strikes, control objectives between these 2 chaos spawns. You can do, if you play Thousand Sons in 10th edition, you think they're strong, like, take the time to learn 9th edition Thousand Sons. Goodness gracious. So Guard, I will admit, are particularly nasty just for the one particular thing. One thing specifically. Maybe kind of 2. So, Rough Riders, Melta Tips are good. They trade up very easily. So here you have to look at the attack profile on the top. It's not on the weapons. So 3 attacks, Melta profile, and the strongest tanks in the game were T8. Not 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And so Melta, you'll notice here, is their tanks are T7 to T8. Here, Melta Tips, strength +2, and so their strength becomes 6, and then if you charged, guess what? You get another 2. So you're wounding on 3 to 4 ups against vehicles and all the toughest stuff in the game. You're wounding on 3 and 4s as Guard. You hit on a 3, but I think there's a way to get a boost to that or something, and it's been a minute. AP 4, damage 3. And each of these dudes will do 3 of those. Oh, sorry, that's a sergeant. 2 of those, and then an extra for the sergeant. So that's 21 Melta attacks. And these dudes are like 100 points. It's so mad cheap. They can kill Lehman Russ battle tanks for half the cost. They trade up so well. So they're already good. But Lord Solar Leontis and Kazarkin with this one relic, Barbican's Key, that gives them an in-game deep strike similar to the Necrons. They had Necrons for the longest time had this little ghost weave where you could be like, yes, I'm going to teleport over to this side of the map, neener. So Guard got one. You throw it on Kazarkin. They also had a boost where it's like, okay, you can spend a stratagem every time you shoot with a las gun on a 6. It'll do like mortals based on the amount of times that unit has been shot. So you split your shots up, and you basically just you shoot at like 3 different targets. So it's not the sergeant. So that's 9 guys, 3 guys each, and you're going to be doing like 6, 12, 18 mortals along with your actual shooting as well. They teleport, so you can't really stop that. And so you're going to just wipe a whole squad of something. And you can give extra bonuses because of Lord Solar as well. He can buff them. So he not existing and or these not getting those buffs, then his army becomes way weaker. The Rough Riders are still like cracked. And back then, the Vanquishers actually meant something. That was insane. Like, them and Hammerheads, for their cost value, were the best anti-tank in the game. Like, neck and neck. But now, not so much. And then, yeah, now it's like, okay, you have some I have some Infernuses, a couple buffs here and there. Some single targets, so when they die, then they're not totally screwed. But, like, these Vanquishers can kill these Vanquishers much easier. Pretty strange. Well, if you change the profiles, like, obviously now it makes less sense because of the weapon. It's actually still strength 14, very very silly, and now it's strength 18. Anyways, actually I don't know if they could kill them much easier. It's just that everything else doesn't hit as hard. What was it? Is the because if you got a 6, that's right. You get reroll hits or something. You reroll a hit because if you get a 6, then you can't block it. Goes straight through, gets the max damage, and deals mortals. That's what it was. Vanquisher, silly. Railgun. Yep. Moving on, Space Marines to Iron Hands. So Iron Hands got army-wide reroll 1. And in 9th edition, it was about having leaders, which is a thing they've kind of taken from doing hero spam for Fantasy and Age of Sigmar AOS, which I really dislike. But it was more aura-based. It is not that much of a hassle on TTS because it's much faster to measure, or you can just have auto auras for free measuring. On IRL, which is the thing they make actual money on, I understand why they wouldn't like this because, again, it takes longer. For me, it wasn't. So I'm like, I don't know what people are complaining about. It's not that bad at all. I hit the number 4 3 times. Boom, 3-inch aura. It's just that easy. Like, real life, it's hard when you need to measure these things because every inch matters. Okay? It's a big deal. Not being in range can be a make or break. You don't make the charge. You don't get the bonus. You don't nerf your opponent. You can't attack them at all. You know, it does matter. And so getting your entire army to get reroll like 1s and stuff, and you get like extra bonuses to shoot, and back then you don't have to wait an extra round for your ships to come in and stuff, and they can turn before they move instead of after, which is hella stupid. And they the fire raptor gunships in particular just had mad amount of weapons. I played with one dude who just whined a lot and was kind of a bad egg, and he did point out though, and we were able to confirm that my fire raptor gunships were originally the wrong size. They were like this, and he's like, that's not right. And he felt pretty salty after he lost, and for that I will agree, and it was good to get it fixed. Now I know, but it also doesn't matter now. However, if you look on TTS, be careful. Sometimes you can find models that are like different looking because they're really old. I'm not too stringent on like, oh, he has a bolter instead of a melta. As long as all the rules are there to back up, like it actually says he's a melta, you just couldn't find the melta model. As long as the base size is the same, it's just a different gun. There's bigger things to complain about. Chill. Hold your horses. Be stable. Some little lore there. This would just absolutely dump on this group. A big thing that was also nerfed for 9th edition that's still being carried over for some reason. They just hate flyers. They hated fortifications and they just nerfed flyers into the ground as well. Just don't use flyers anymore, which is shitty. Is melee can't hit them. So, like, what are you gonna do? As long as I have the keyword fly, I'm just in the air. Flamethrowers can hit me, which is weird if I'm like a mile in the atmosphere, but your sword definitely can't. And so you can just have especially for guard, like an entire army that's in the air almost. And if your opponent's like space wolves or something, it's like, well, guess I'll die now. Like, what am I gonna do? But yeah, just so much heavy bolter shooting. It is insane. And las cannons too. Oh boy. Also, infiltrators back then, they're the ones that had omni scramblers, and so just prevent opponent deep striking. Just like, yeah, no, you're not gonna charge me from 9. If you set your model up, you're gonna charge me from 12, meaning you can't, or 12.1, so not allowed. That was a strong list. I loved playing both of these two. Not so much the Thousand Suns, because there were so many rules. You do so many immortals, and it's really weird because like some armies, like, is it shooting phase yet? Is it shooting phase? I have no shooting. Don't care. Is it psychic phase? I have no, like Space Wolves. Shooting phase? I sleep. Psychic phase? I sleep. Charge and fight phase? Real shit. It's Thousand Suns. Fight phase and shooting phase? I kind of sleep. Maybe, depending. Psychic phase? Real shit. Like, it depends. Your army might do nothing for those phases, and they're instant or relatively quick. And then other armies, it's it's long as hell. It's a long ass shooting phase. I think out of these, one of the fastest ones is Iron Hands, because there's no psychic phase and no real fight phase for the most part. Maybe if the Blade Guards get in, there's tons of shooting. Yeah, Thousand Suns. They have fight phase stuff, shooting phase stuff, and lots of psychic phase stuff. So lots and lots of stuff happening. Back in my day, Smite was a power, not a ranged attack. That's stupid. I maintain that it's stupid. I don't care if it makes me crotchety and a bit of a boomer. It's fucking weird. -1 to stealth on the psychic attack. It's like the best way I can equivalent my feelings to that is Thor, Love and Thunder, when he's like, oh, now I'm slightly obscured, now you can't see me as well. And he's like putting like a little bit of fabric over his face. It's like, oh, he has stealth. That means your Kamehameha Mind Blast miss. Because he got +1 to his dodge. Like, what? In what reality? So stupid. Anyway, yeah, this has been my rant video. If you listen to my other videos and hear me rant about why I missed 9th edition, it's not so much the terrain rules. I don't like what they did to Psychic. And I don't like that your customizable options, it's like, oh, you have 3 enhancements now, but before you had like 3 to 4 warlord gear and traits, and you could custom your army in different ways. You had more options. Now, with less options, if you even take any, most people are going to take those options. So it's the illusion of choice. If I give you 3, but 1 or 2 of them are fucking garbage, then you may not pick them. So it's like, I should give you more options to allow for more niche playstyles. Even then, if they're very niche, at least will introduce more types of gamers playing those playstyles into competitive scenes, possibly even. Or even casual scenes. It'll be a nice surprise. You're not getting that in 10th. And, I don't know, all the different factions of Sisters just don't feel fleshed out. They don't feel as impactful. They have less written. It's like, oh, we're going to reduce rule bloat, stratagem bloat. I understand it could be a lot to memorize all the different stuff, but I haven't been to any tournaments ever, and I memorized a good chunk. If you don't even want to memorize your opponent's stuff, you can just wait before the game and be like, hey, can I see your stuff? Or once you know what army they're playing, or can you just give me a minute? I want to check over your stratagems. Look over all the cool stratagems and be like, okay, do you have anything like Big Spooky or whatever the heck? Just talk to them. It doesn't take long. If you're one of those people that need to bring a newspaper to the toilet, you've got other things going on that's not your opponent's fault or GW's fault. And I'm annoyed if it feels like we need to cater to that. Like, if it takes you 10 minutes to read a single paragraph, that's a whole other separate thing. Yeah, the biggest things for me is it doesn't feel as lore. Oh, actually, there's the third thing. Points. They have decreased the amount of points by increasing the points for a lot of things, so you can't bring as much. This is a little dual-sided because they want to make the games go faster, and I get it, but between that and the auras trying to make the game go faster, it is not making it feel as cool. I can kind of still get behind the leader. It's like, instead of a group, it's an individual unit thing. Sure, fine. That's okay. I get it. Still like auras, but maybe I have a bias there. I can respect that. It's the thing. But the point is, it's turning more into kill team. It's less and less and less. Which, again, if you have less to work with, you might feel more required, because if you don't bring certain units to do certain things, you're gonna have a much higher chance to lose. Then your army is the same as everybody else's army. And that's how you get more of the situations of, like, oh, there's, like, the top 20% of players are all Yukari, and they have an 87% win rate and part of 9th. It's like that. You know what I think would be a huge healthy change? Games Workshop should literally say this, because it'd be so funny if we came up with an original concept that has never been said or done before, called the Rule of Two. If they say it like that, it's because people are going to know that GW's creativity at times is very on the nose and non-existent. So if they do that, though, that'll make it so you can't spam 3 of a lot of things. Not all armies are going to care, but it will require some armies to be fleshed out in different ways. Or a better way to do this would be saying, if you only have one of any name type of unit in your army, then you get an extra CP. That'd be huge. That's the one I'm more so lean for. Because if you want to run 3 Malkadoran Furnaces, you want to run like 12 fucking Lehman Russes, because fuck you. Just have a tank squadron. Fine, fuck it, fine, we do it live. But if you run one of anything, not of everything, obviously, can't do that. That costs too many points. But if you don't have more than one of anything in your list, then I think that would open up a lot of cool, diverse list building options players would do. They would try to be the jack of all trades, and they'd be rewarded for not min-maxing certain targeted groups. And some armies could benefit from this, because, like, Grey Knights. Oh, they need it. Because that's kind of how they are anyway, and they struggle against big targets, and so the extra CP will help them. I don't think this is going to be an overwhelming power surge, and it would take a while to really factor in. I can't guarantee it, but I think like half the armies would change to get that extra CP. It'd be close. I'd really be considering it. Just other options, like if I don't have a Brutalis, take out Gladiator and Lancers, put in a Brutalis, figure out some other things to do. No, yeah, 100%, yeah. I would change a lot of the armies to get that bonus. I really think that'd be healthy for the game. It makes me wish they'd do it, but so to be fair, also some units have a rule where it's like, oh, if another one of these attacked, they're very rare, but some of those do exist. And then some armies, it's like the Fraternity, it's like endless swarm and stuff. Something I would say, if you create more of those units, like the bonus CP, that takes effect at the beginning of the game for your army list. If you make more, like from Harvester models, I wouldn't count that against you. Or Gene Stealer Colt like coming back, I wouldn't count that against you because that'd be dumb. Like what? It's what the unit does. I can't turn it off. I'm gonna demand I roll a 1 instead of a 3 or 4. But yeah, I would love that being a fix to the game. It would help compensate for the lack of diversity. Like, one of the bigger examples was Chaos Space Marines in 9th edition. Every version almost of Chaos Space Marines, except for like 2 out of like the 6 or 7 you could run, would have the Terminator brick. Because it was just so good with the Black Rune Damnation and Master of Possession. And you can even throw in the, I don't know, their version of a Chaplain. I have them in the Chaos Space Marines list. A Black Disciple, whatever the heck. Yeah, it's very boring though. It's just always the same thing. And so just give some more diversity. I might play a game or two. Final Fantasy update's coming out soon. I am actually on welfare. I filed for unemployment. It's a big morale blow, ego death to myself. I'm really struggling to find work. I haven't done any Warhammer or a ton of gaming recently because I'm just doing applications, and then I go to an interview and they don't show up, they don't get back to me, or they act like they don't care. And I'm doing dozens of applications a day, and then I get nowhere. And it's been like that for like 2 months, and so I'm finally on unemployment. It's really shitty, but it is what it is. I would love, this is a bit cringe, more than the like, share, and subscribe. If you know anyone, if you're watching this, that needs online assistant or some way for remote working, I'd be more than happy to apply for said position. Meanwhile, I'm just in California near Disneyland trying to find what work is able. But yeah, I hope that this content entertained you. It's constructive. Maybe you got the wheel turning in the good old gray matter noggin. You might find 9th edition interesting if you never played it, or if you're a 9th lover like myself and be like, oh yeah, those are the good times. Meh, things were better back then. There's still cool things for 10th. I just generally think 9th is better in most ways. That's just my own personal opinion. But still Warhammer. Unfortunately, on that note, it's becoming a woke hammer. Has there been woke things before? Yes. But that's not what I'm talking about. And if you're not being cringe, you understand that. People in certain areas using power leverage to change the lore to fit an agenda abruptly, not organically. I have no issue with things changing for a wider audience, both for the capitalist perspective to make money and or just to improve the story if it's done organically and well. In any and every way. If it's not done organically and well, then it's abrupt, it's forced. It feels like literally you're raping the story just to make someone else happy. And that's why I think a lot of people are frustrated about, and it's hard to have a conversation. Because people will just immediately like mute anyone that talks about this if they feel different. Anyway, I will try to play some more when I have time in the next month. I'll be busy on FF when I'm not trying to get job stuff done. And yeah, I'll definitely throw that up when I can record the game. It'll probably be with Necrons or something because I love them the most and it's the one I know and it's easiest to play. I played every single army in 9th, which was crazy, but I don't have the urge anymore to do that in 10th, which is unfortunate because I am losing a bit of that passion. Let me know if you have lost some passion as well, or if you found new passion in a new army. There's something you definitely want to check out. There's a bunch of old legend models and units and stuff you used to be able to play, which is very cool. I hope they phase some of that stuff back in. That, again, makes sense. It'd be weird to phase in Yarick and Creed, considering one is frozen in stasis and the other is a skull on the skull throne, kind of. Or, I guess, a necklace. So, yeah. Let's see, is there anything else? It's hot recently. There's a sauna in my room. Good lord. My friend is in Arizona. It's like 20 to 30 degrees hotter than me, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't want it to be this hot for me. Like, screw you. His is more of a dry heat. Mine's a humid heat. So literally, it's a sauna. I can't. It's always wet. I'm in California next to Disneyland. Why does it feel this way? It angers me. I understand the coast and stuff, but I'm not that close to it. Ugh. Let's see. I don't think I have any big ideas or changes, anything that'd be crazy that's coming up for Warhammer. I'm gonna be excited for Eisenhorn. I'm gonna watch it. Going back into the woke thing. Dirty rumor mill if Henry Cavill's still on the project or threatening to leave regarding the Custody lore change. If that was pushed through by Amazon into the show and that's why they did it for the book. I have no proof of that, so that is a dirty rumor mill thing. But whenever Eisenhorn comes out, if that's in there, then it looks like it's all true. Which means the reason they're changing the lore is to appease Amazon so they can do the show to try to make money. Which is unfortunate because they're just whoring out their product. Why not make LGBTQ, I don't know, Poxwalker Lives Matter, I don't know, KKK Marines and stuff, because, like, or just appease all the different groups for money. Like, I don't know. One of the things, Warhammer is a terrible universe. You do not want to be here. You have no rights. There's no freedom of anything. However, there are many rules, so you can get murdered by a law official, and it's probably going to be legal, but you can't murder people, and you're probably never going to go out of your position. Like, it is such a grim universe. People that be like, oh no, if a guy came at me with a gun, I'd do all this, and he would never get me, because I'm too fast. No. Fuck you, you don't understand. Like, you're fucked if you're in the Warhammer universe. You're so screwed. Oh my god. You have better chances of winning the lottery IRL than you do of living a comfortable modern life right now in that universe. There's no fucking way. You're so fucked. And people want to, like, I don't know, try and make it better, but by doing that, you're doing Star Wars. You're changing the lore, and it's upsetting fans. And similar to how I'm just having this mad, spazzy, schizo rant right now, if you try to bring it up, I think what upsets me and other people is you're then treated badly for trying to explain or have a discussion about why you're frustrated and how maybe it's not the best idea. Instead of a critical, developing argument, debate. Even that I'd be more open to than just being yelled at or stuff happening and you have no ability to change it as you watch something just get perverted and ruined. Regarding tabletop stuff, a lot of the streamlined rules for 10th edition don't really feel that streamlined. It's just less stratagems. All the cover building changes, it's basically whether or not you get light cover now. And everything basically can give you light cover. It's really hard to not get light cover. It's like you have to go out of your way to not get the +1 bonus. And dense isn't really a thing along with difficult ground. They could have been in the game, not a big deal, and would have added more interesting stuff to the game. Dense was weird, because if you shot any kind of artillery weapon, the trees don't really make much sense. Or if you shot something that doesn't need line of sight, again, you're shooting something from orbit even, or you're doing a psychic power, all kinds of other weird stuff. Like, it's kind of weird. Or like you could move for tanks specifically. You can move your tank tread or your cannon model piece to like be facing the trees or something, touching it. So now it's like, oh yes, now I have dense. Like, that was weird. I'm gonna be the first to say it. That shit was strange. I think another fun one for 9th that was dumb was the Catacomb Command Barge for Necrons was 9 wounds. And so you could, and even though it was a vehicle, because it's not 10 wounds or more, you could get Lookout Sir, which basically gave you like lone operative. Mr. President, get down! And like, as long as a weak little Necron warrior was nearby, this giant tank couldn't be shot. Like, the logic was so strange. Oh god, that was just so funny and weird. I do like 10th having it, so if you're more than 5 up, you are able to shoot people with a +1 AP if you're shooting at a downward arc and whatnot with guys. I think as long as they're wholly within, that's the thing that's weird. I don't like the holy thing because unless you're using like eliminators, even having 5 models on a lot of terrain, they have it where it's all like jagged and shit. It's like, oh well, it's not wholly on because there's a 1mm floorboard missing. Like, so the entire unit doesn't get it, or some models or some shit. I don't know. I kind of like if it fits, it sits. As long as I'd say if it's flat or at most a 45-degree arc, and then don't worry about it. Just calm down. It's not a big deal. Also, for TTS specifically, this one's kind of whiny. Boy, the 3D measuring tool is not that great. If people design terrain, I'd say for stories, make it 3 inches by either 5 or 3 inch increments. Because I think, what is it? If you have it at 3 inches, then someone who's 2 stories up, sorry, 1 story up is still going to hold an objective, but 2 stories up won't, along with the 5 inches. But they're going to be guaranteed getting the bonus against someone who is on the ground holding an objective. It's just combat at 5 inches down is just so weird. I understand because you're trying to hold the same area and stuff. But even then, besides it actually being measured and fitted to be that tall, and 100%, like, oh, if you want to do it yourself. No, I legit thought about this because you should put your money where your mouth is. If you want change, be the change. But a lot of people already do that already, and it's hard to find some maps that have that. There's some that do, but a lot don't. Is then reflect that also by saying, so people don't have to measure it. Like, is this tall? I don't know. Let's try and figure it out with the 3D measuring tool, because that can go into planning as well. Oh, something else that turns me off of 10th is immediately what they did with Knights. Votan come out, and they just immediately squished because they're broken. Fuck the dwarves. But now they've never had their chance in the sun. Feels bad. But Knights was weirder because, oh, towering too strong. So what we're going to do is we're going to play, but we don't want to change out all of our tournament terrain. So all tournament terrain with window ruins no longer have windows. You're going to count that as closed off. Because fuck Knights. Literally, just fuck Knights. No other reason to do that. That's dumb. Now, I do understand it changes how other units play. Like, infantry going inside can't shoot out or be shot at now, which could be OP for them holding objectives against non-infantry. That's kind of broken and annoying. But, you know, it can happen. That's fair. It's not the biggest deal, and it does change things up. But it just is a huge cuck, specifically Knights, and it was done for Knights. And then Knights got a point increase because GW was like, you know what, that is kind of strong. We're going to increase their points. And people are like, cool. We're not going to change the rule for tournaments regarding terrain. They still are going to count their windows closed. And that's a fan thing. It's not GW, because I don't think they technically officially do WTC and the GT tournaments. Technically, I don't think it's official. So yeah, they like officially sponsor it, but it's not theirs. I could be wrong. Anyways, then what is it? Besides that being a thing, which is messed up, in 9th edition, the book for the core book specifically calls out, hey, probably don't bring more than 25% your table's total space as terrain. If you can't fit, if it goes outside of fitting in one corner, it's too much. I think 20 to 25% is good, because there's a lot of weird between L walls, T walls, and big I walls, just things that block line of sight. You can get the biggest problem with those, right, is a lot of them are ruins, which means if you have more than 25%, then it can be hard for some armies, like the Corn Loaded Skulls for Chaos, or just Imperial Chaos Knights, or even giant fucking Tyranids, to get anywhere. Your models are too big, and it's going to kind of ruin the game. And if there's way too much, I'd bring it up at a tournament. Maybe just don't play on that tournament, because they don't, care to be reasonable towards the people that have those large models. If you do, I guess you're just gonna lose. Haha. Get fucked. Like, that's not welcoming to the hobby. It's gatekeeping. However, then you'd be like, oh, well, you want to get shot off the table turn 1. No. I'm just asking you to dial it down, goddammit, from 40, 35, 30% back to 25. That's fair. It's what it was. Just do that. It was more than that in just one edition as well. 10th is, he doesn't even call it out. Why not do 5th? Just have the entire board be terrain. Nothing but ruins. You can't even play. Why not? Oh, it's not fun. Oh, it's not fun now. You can't really play. Oh, that's crazy. It's not healthy for the game to be like this, because a lot of shooting armies are too cucked. Big model armies are too cucked. They can't play their play style or factions. And if you... Sure, let's have the argument you can get shot off. Well, guess what? Just hide your stuff in line of sight. It makes it more important, and it makes a greater importance in having stuff in deep strike or strategic reserves, and you can take advantage of it as well. Crazy concept. And if you don't want to, then don't. And then it's like, oh, well, hide some elite stuff. Hide infantry. There are options to work with. But that's not being discussed or talked about. Instead, infantry is king. That, also the flying. They really fucked flyers. Flyers and fortifications have just not been doing well. And even flying infantry, because now you have to fly over stuff and it's not free. I understand it being free is also weird, but now they're just so bad. It's just unfortunate. A lot of units have lost their value because their agency is taken out because of the environmental rules or the expected play style, and now they're not able to be used in effective ways. The fact that fortifications, flyers, and a lot of armies just don't give a shit about reserves or deep strike, drop pods, or any of that, it's just unfortunate. There's a lot of cool stuff that could be played with this game, that could be used, but the meta is just becoming tighter and tighter, and it makes me sad, and it makes me passionate and want to have a schizo rant about it, because I think this stuff is really cool, and the fact that it's kind of just dying kind of sucks. I think I'll call it here, though. That's enough rambling for one day. I need to fucking wet my whistle and take Ash the doggo husky for a walk. Isn't that right, baby? You want to go for a walk? Oh, yeah. All right. Take care, gamers, and game on. Love y'all.